Here I am, standing all by myself in the stunning bridal suite at Willamette Valley Vineyard, gazing at my reflection in the mirror that stretches from floor to ceiling. My wedding dress hugs my body flawlessly, with every seam and sparkling crystal perfectly placed. The makeup artist truly excelled. My eyes appear larger, my cheekbones are accentuated, and my lips boast the ideal rose tint. On the vanity lies my bouquet of white roses, patiently waiting for me. I can't help but check my phone for the 14th time within 20 minutes. No word from Mom, silence from Dad, and not even a single text from Logan. Just then, a gentle knock on the door interrupts the quiet. Martha, our wedding planner, peeks in, her practiced smile just barely masking her worry. "It's time, Caroline. Are you ready?" My gaze wanders to the window that overlooks the ceremony area, where 90 guests are seated in pristine white chairs. The soft strains of a string quartet fill the air, and I can see a few empty seats at the front row glaring back at me like unforgiving reminders. Surely they aren't coming, are they? My voice quivers despite my attempts to remain steady. Martha's smile wavers. "There's still time," she assures me, but deep down, we both understand it's a false hope. Taking a deep breath, I smooth out the silk of my gown. "Let's do this." As the doors to the garden swing open, 90 heads turn to witness my solo march down the aisle. I feel their sympathetic stares like unwelcome touches, small nudges of pity that send shivers down my spine. Whispers travel through cupped hands, while some offer encouraging grins that only deepen the emptiness in my chest. My focus narrows onto Ethan, waiting for me at the altar, his steady gaze locked onto mine. The warmth of his love almost dispels the haunting memory of my mother's words 3 days prior. "We'll try, sweetie. Logan's firm has an event that weekend." Her dismissive tone sliced through the phone line like a cold rejection, as if she were turning down a simple lunch invitation instead of skipping her only daughter's wedding. "I can cover the flights," I'd pleaded, desperation clawing at my throat. "The hotel. Anything. Please, Mom." In the background, Dad's voice floated through, "Tell her we're busy." Now, each step forward requires immense effort. In. Out. One foot, another stride. I refuse to cry. I won't give them the satisfaction of knowing my pain, even in their absence. As I reach Ethan, he holds my hands gently. His warmth is a solid, comforting presence. "I'm here," he murmurs, so quietly that only I can hear. "We're enough." Instantly, I'm transported back to 8 years old, standing in our living room as Mom and Dad celebrate Logan's debate trophy. They position it meticulously on the mantel, stepping back to admire it from various angles, snapping photos to share with relatives. Meanwhile, my own art contest certificate is left forgotten in a kitchen drawer. I had proudly shown it to them that day, excitement bubbling inside me as I recounted my teacher's praise for my talent. Mom had merely glanced at it, saying, "That's nice, honey," before returning to her meal prep. Later, Dad ruffled my hair absent-mindedly. "Logan needs more support. He's going places," he had explained when I questioned why they attended all his events but skipped my art showcase. "You understand, don't you, Caroline?" And Mom, never missing a chance, added, "Why can't you be more like your brother? He focuses on what matters." After that, I vowed to try harder. Each academic award, every scholarship, and every business success became a desperate bid for their attention. each of them noted with only perfunctory interest, if acknowledged at all. As the ceremony proceeds, I recite my vows, feeling increasingly empowered with each promise. I choose a future where we see each other clearly, I tell Ethan, the weight of my words resonating deeply, and he comprehends it all. When the officiant declares us husband and wife, Ethan's mother envelopes me in a warm embrace. "You're one of us now, dear," she whispers, and the tightness in my chest loosens just a bit. The photographer captures the moments on the dance floor as Ethan twirls me beneath the shimmering string lights. His cousins join in, creating a joyful circle filled with laughter and music. For those blissful moments, I manage to forget the family-shaped void in my celebration. I momentarily lose myself in the songs and the gleeful energy around me. During the reception, Sarah, my college roommate, raises her glass. "To finding the family who truly deserves you," she declares, her eyes burning with fierce loyalty. A ripple of agreement flows through the crowd, and the weight of her words hits me like a physical impact. All these years, I've remained invisible to those who should have recognized me most. I've been striving for validation from people who never intended to offer it. As the celebration quiets briefly, I sneak away to check my phone one last time. There are still no missed calls, no messages, not even a simple congratulations. Ethan discovers me staring at the empty screen. "They missed something beautiful today," he says gently, wrapping his arm around my waist. As I gaze up at him, I realize that this is the man who has never once made me feel like I need to compete for his attention. I recall his family, who embraced me wholeheartedly. I think of the friends who journeyed across the country to stand by my side. I place my phone down. "Their choice," I remark, feeling lighter than I have in ages, "it's not my burden." And for the first time, I almost believe it. Fast forward 2 years, I reclined back in my ergonomic chair, eyes fixed on the screen. Acquisition of Crescent Motion Studio, finalized at $21 million. After 2 years of negotiations and 5 years of hard work from the ground up, this was the validation, a staggering 8-figure sum. Suddenly, my office door swings open, and my team spills in, armed with bottles of champagne and plastic cups. To Caroline. Jen, my creative director, toasts. She's the powerhouse who created something from scratch while certain people were oblivious. I beam as I clink glasses with 12 people who actually stood by me, unlike my family. Just as we're celebrating, my phone vibrates. An Instagram notification from Logan, showing a post about his twins' private school fundraiser. I know I shouldn't look, but my curiosity wins. There they are, Mom and Dad standing alongside Logan and his wife, Hannah, their identical girls in matching plaid uniforms. The caption reads, "Family tradition continues. 3rd generation at Westridge Academy." Dad's arm wrapped around Logan's shoulder, while Mom beams at her granddaughters. I swipe through more pictures, Logan's family vacation in Hawaii just last month, the holiday gathering I was excluded from, and Dad's retirement party. In each snapshot, they present themselves as the quintessential American family, save for one missing daughter. What's more revealing than the images is the message they convey. The weekly rental for their Maui vacation likely exceeds $5,000, and Westridge Academy charges $30,000 per child yearly. Logan's house, visible in several photos, is nestled in a neighborhood where nothing goes for less than $2 million. This lifestyle, all supported by my parents' retirement savings and family investments, according to distant cousins who sporadically remember I exist. Caroline? Jen gently touches my arm. We lost you for a moment. I swiftly lock my phone screen. Just checking messages. Where were we? The celebration resumes around me, but I'm mentally adding it all up. Logan's law firm has a moderate level of success but doesn't come close to sustaining his lavish lifestyle. My parents have been quietly financing him for years, depleting their savings to uphold his facade. Meanwhile, my $21 million acquisition hasn't even garnered a text. After the team departs, I delve into my parents' social media. A tidal wave of posts about Logan's achievements, the twins' milestones, and family gatherings floods the feed. My presence reduced to a solitary birthday wish from last year, a nondescript, "Happy birthday, Caroline," lacking even a photo. I shut my laptop and make a decision. The next morning, I call my financial advisor about the gleaming Porsche Taycan in metallic gray. I want to finalize the purchase today. 3 hours later, I'm inking my signature on documents for a $135,000 car. It's extravagant, unnecessary, and yet, it's precisely what I desire, not for my family's approval but because I never required their financial support in the first place. Back at home, I snap a single picture of the car parked in my driveway, the afternoon sun brilliantly reflecting off its metallic surface. I share it on Instagram with a succinct caption, "Dreams realized." For 3 days, silence ensues. Then, on Wednesday afternoon, my phone lights up with a name I haven't encountered in 5 years, Mom. My stomach clenches as I answer. "Hello? Caroline. We need to talk." Mom's voice carries that authoritative and urgent tone that she saves for family crises. "Family meeting tomorrow." "Family meeting?" I echo, disbelief seeping into my words. "After 5 years of silence, you're calling about a family meeting?" "This is significant," she insists, and I hear Dad's voice in the background. "Tell her it's important," he says, as if I can't hear him. "What's so important?" I press. My wedding wasn't important. My business wasn't important. What matters now? Mom's tone grows tight. "It's complicated. Financial issues. We need to talk as a family." Naturally. They've seen the car. They know about the acquisition. Only now, suddenly, I'm family again. "Tomorrow at 2, I respond before ending the call. The next morning, I slip into my new Porsche, the cool leather seat pressing against my back. The drive to my childhood home takes 40 minutes, enough time to relive birthdays celebrated without my presence, accomplishments disregarded, holidays spent in solitude while they gathered, oblivious. I park in their circular driveway, my metallic gray Porsche starkly contrasting their colonial-style home. For a brief moment, I linger there, fingers clutching the steering wheel. The last time I stood on that porch was 6 years ago, when I disclosed my engagement to Ethan. Mom merely nodded while Dad obsessively checked his watch, clearly eager for my departure. They've never needed me before. Why the shift? My phone vibrates with a message from Ethan. "Always remember your identity. Reach out if you need to be brought out of any situation." I can't help but smile, even when I don't feel like it. Another notification pops up. It's an email from Naomi Blake, the investor who believed wholeheartedly in Crescent Motion when others did not. Your value isn't defined by those who failed to recognize it. One last alert dings in. My assistant is confirming the meeting set for tomorrow. Don't let them occupy too much time, since you have the production review at 4. Focus on her. I inhale deeply, recalling what my therapist said during our last session. Setting boundaries is not about punishment, it's about safeguarding yourself. I square my shoulders and step out of the car. Just as I'm about to knock, the front door swings wide open. My parents are there, their faces shifting from irritation to surprise as they notice the Porsche behind me. "You've made quite an accomplishment," Dad remarks. Not a greeting, not a, "I've missed you." Just a measurement of my financial status. "Yes," I respond simply. No embraces, no warmth from them. They lead me into the dining room where Logan and Hannah are already seated, their expressions a mixture of careful concern. "Caroline." Logan acknowledges me, behaving as if we'd spoken just last week rather than 5 years ago. "Let's get to business," Dad declares, pulling out financial documents. I stay standing, clutching my purse tightly, my one visible sign of the turmoil brewing beneath my otherwise calm facade. No, first I'd appreciate knowing why I'm suddenly deemed significant enough to be included in family affairs after years of exclusion. Mom and Dad share a look. Logan fidgets uncomfortably. "We can talk about that later," Mom says, her tone sliding into the dismissive cadence I recognize all too well. "We have more urgent issues at hand." "I'm not in a hurry," I reply, still upright. "And I refuse to be a convenient family member only when you need something from me." For the first time in my adult life, I catch a flicker of uncertainty on my father's face. In this moment, it dawns on me how much they require my assistance now. Finally, I hold the power to shape the next steps. The dining room of my childhood seems smaller than I recall. Richard presides at the head of the table, hands folded as if overseeing a corporate meeting rather than a family crisis. Elaine sits beside him, her posture immaculate, though worry lines etch her forehead. Across from me, Logan slouches in his seat, his designer shirt wrinkled at the cuffs. Hannah is beside him, a leather photo album sprawled across her lap. "It's foreclosure, Caroline." Richard's tone is resolute, yet carries an unfamiliar tremor. Logan has fallen 3 months behind on his mortgage, and the twins' private school tuition remains unpaid for this semester. I remain silent, letting the weight of the silence linger. 2 years without contact, and this is the catalyst that reunites us. "You need to assist your brother." Richard pushes a document across the glossy oak table, loan paperwork, pre-filled. The audacity leaves me momentarily breathless. "Think of your niece and nephew." Elaine's voice cracks, a practiced hitch that used to send me hurrying to appease her. "They're just kids. They shouldn't have to suffer due to financial issues." Logan leans in, eyes narrowed. "We're family, that's what family does. When one of us succeeds, we elevate the rest." Hannah widens the album and nudges it toward me. "They ask about Aunt Caroline constantly." She gestures towards photos of children I barely recognize, their faces beaming at a birthday party I wasn't invited to. "Maddie is curious why you don't come over." Richard clears his throat. "We've done everything within our means. Our retirement fund is." He trails off, locking eyes with Elaine. "We've been putting forth our best efforts to support them." The implication is thick in the air, the idea that my success obliges me to them, that my independence is a form of selfishness in light of family needs. I close the photo album and slide it back across to them. "Where were you on my wedding day?" The question escapes my lips with unexpected calm. Logan blinks in confusion. What? My wedding, 2 years ago. Where were you? Elaine's hand instinctively moves to her throat. We were occupied. Logan had an event with his firm. It simply wasn't feasible, Richard adds, as though discussing a missed dinner invitation. I nod slowly, feeling a sense of clarity solidifying within me. And yet here you are now, because you noticed the Porsche on Instagram. You only reached out because you saw my car. Logan's face flushes in anger. That's not just. Isn't it? I sit up taller, feeling the strength of my financial autonomy coursing through me. Where there was once an anxious slump, there's now steel. I built every part of this, scholarships, clients, late nights. Where were any of you during that journey? Richard's expression hardens. What does that have to do with our current predicament? Everything. I fold my hands on the table, mimicking his stance. I'm listening. Explain to me why I should write a check today. Logan pounds his hand on the table. You've always felt the need to prove yourself, always displaying how intelligent, creative, and exceptional you are. Some of us have simply been trying to live ordinary lives. Richard's hand rests reassuringly on Logan's shoulder. Your brother had an abundance of potential that needed nurturing. You have always been so fiercely self-sufficient. Yet, we are still your parents. Elaine's voice is a whisper, her eyes glistening with tears. Regardless of everything that has transpired, you were merely parents in name. My tone is unwavering, surprising even me. You weren't there for my high school graduation. You weren't there for my college scholarship ceremony. You missed the launch of my company. And you missed my wedding. I tapped the surface of the table with each absence. You missed my entire life. And now you wish to celebrate the success it has brought. Caroline. Richard begins. You were not the architect of this success. I counter. You have no right to partake in it. My phone buzzes in my pocket. I sneak a glance at a message from Ethan. Are you okay? Meeting running long. Inner Asso. Just seeing his name brings back the words of Naomi Blake when she invested in my startup. You don't need validation from those blind to your brilliance. I think of my team at Crescent Motion, their faces illuminated as we raised a toast after the acquisition. They chose to believe in me, to support my vision. Inside my briefcase is the contract for the foundation funding, signed by the board just last Tuesday. These are individuals who trust me with purpose, not merely funds. Richard inches the loan documents toward me. We're just requesting what's reasonable. Family supports family. The interest rate is quite fair, Elaine chimes in, as if it's some grand favor. Logan's earlier smirk resurfaces, brimming with confidence. Blood bonds us more than water, Caro. I rise slowly, purposefully, drawing their attention. Their bodies lean in, eager. I retrieve my briefcase and set it down with a gentle thud. I've opted for something different, I express. Logan peeks at my hands as I unfasten the briefcase. Richard edges closer in his seat. Elaine twists the napkin in her lap nervously. Instead of a checkbook, I pull out a singular document and lay it before them. This is the announcement for the Rivera Media Scholarship Foundation, $16 million dedicated to creating pathways for young women in digital media arts. I caress the paper lightly. The press release goes live first thing tomorrow morning. $16 million? Logan gasps at the sheer amount. It's named after Miss Rivera, my high school media arts teacher, the one who attended my gallery exhibits while my family was too caught up in their own lives. The funds are securely protected in a foundation trust. The board sanctioned the budget allocation last week. An oppressive silence blankets the table. I'm helping girls who never received the recognition I didn't get, I declare as I gather my things. That's what family signifies to me. Logan's expression twists, veins bulging on his forehead. You're squandering it on strangers. On girls who deserve more than what I received. I snap my briefcase shut. Girls who need someone to invest in their futures. My parents sit speechless, fixated on the paper that symbolizes millions they'll never experience. I fetch my phone, showing them the screen. An active recording app displays a timer, 36 minutes and counting. I've documented all the manipulative messages from today, I state quietly. Every threat, every demand, every guilt trip, in case someone decides to challenge the foundation legally. I stroll toward the exit, the echo of my footsteps fading into the silence. Behind me, Logan's chair scrapes back with force. You can't just walk away, he protests, his voice cracking. We need that money. I pause at the doorframe, not looking back. No, Logan. What you truly needed was to be present. At my graduation. At my company launch. At my wedding. I rest my hand on the doorknob. But that ship has sailed. The door clicks shut behind me, a sound synonymous with liberation. The Porsche hums beneath me as I drive away from my childhood home, my knuckles relaxed on the steering wheel. The farther I go, the more composed I feel. I press the call button on my dashboard. It's done, I tell Ethan when he picks up. They revealed exactly who they are. 3. How bad was it? His voice fills the car, genuine concern lacing his words. Exactly what I anticipated. I inhale deeply, feeling lighter than I have in hours. Logan went ballistic when I presented the foundation paperwork. Dad struggled to salvage the moment, but Mom just kept mourning about family duties. Are you okay? He asks, a fair inquiry. I glance at my reflection in the rearview mirror, astonished to see no tears, no embarrassment, just a clear-eyed woman staring back. I'm better than okay. For the first time, I viewed them without wishing for change. I'm so proud of you, Ethan praises. Don't forget, we have the foundation board meeting at 9 tomorrow morning. Everything is set for the press announcement. The timing was intentional, establishing the foundation legally before any family confrontation, scheduling the announcement to prevent them from regrouping. No emotional appeals, just legal frameworks that they cannot breach. The Rivera Media Scholarship will be my enduring legacy, not a familial saga. I'll be ready, I assure him before hanging up. At 11:47 p.m., the first message arrives. By the time midnight hits, my phone is buzzing incessantly with urgent texts from family. I mute it and turn it face down on my nightstand. The house is peaceful, save for Ethan's rhythmic breathing next to me. I don't need to check their messages to grasp their content. Come morning, I discover 6 voicemails from my mother. Her voice shifts from heartfelt pleas about familial unity to pointed accusations of disloyalty, ultimately hinting at the opinions of those who might judge a daughter for abandoning her family in their time of crisis. You've faced tougher challenges? I remind myself as I apply my mascara, the morning ritual providing me with some stability. My navy suit, the very one I wore to sign the acquisition papers, is hanging neatly on the closet door. Ethan brings me coffee in my favorite mug. He mentions that Logan has been contacting business associates while browsing through his phone. And your dad has attempted to get in touch with my uncle. That's predictable. I sip the coffee, finding it bitter yet invigorating. They're acting quicker than I anticipated, but not with more cunning. The board meeting for the foundation unfolds smoothly. A dozen accomplished women from the realms of media and finance, all personally vetted and fully dedicated to championing young female creators. The press release receives unanimous approval. Plans for the launch are finalized, and the first scholarship winner will be chosen in 6 months. As I review the venue proposal for the event, Janine from reception calls. Miss Rivers, your family is causing quite a disruption in the lobby. Through the glass of my office, I can see security making their way toward the commotion. I straighten some documents that don't need organizing. Please have security show them out, and make it calm and professional. I watch as my mother's voice rises above the usual office buzz. My daughter is abandoning her family. Her hands wave animatedly, her pearl earrings swinging with each movement. Logan stands beside her, arms crossed and flushed with that familiar shade of red he used to get as a child when faced with denial. My team looks to me for direction. I stand, smooth my skirt, and head to the office door. It's under control. I reassure them with a poise I've cultivated for this very moment. Let's keep focusing on our work. Security guides my family towards the elevators. Logan's voice echoes back, "This isn't over. You can't just dismiss family responsibilities." That evening, I compose a single email addressed to all 3 of them. I have recorded your harassment at my workplace. Any further efforts to reach me regarding family issues will lead to a formal complaint. Direct all communications concerning family matters through my attorney, whose information is attached. Caroline. Simple and straightforward, says Patricia, my therapist, just 2 days later. We sit in her sun-drenched office, the gentle aroma of jasmine tea filling the air. How did sending that email feel? Necessary. I traced the fabric pattern of the armchair. Not fulfilling. Exactly. More like establishing a boundary, she suggests. Yes. I meet her gaze. They're revealing their true selves, aren't they? People often show their true colors under stress, Patricia replies. What you're witnessing now isn't new behavior, just heightened. A wave of understanding washes over me, simple yet impactful. I craved their affection, yet they sought my resources. That's a crucial distinction. All those years, my thoughts drift off as connections start to solidify. The neglect of my childhood, the absence of my parents, who only showed up when I had something to offer. It wasn't on me to earn their love, it was theirs to provide freely. Cly. And what about now? Now, I recognize that I'm not responsible for their healing, I say, as I feel the weight of that realization settle in my bones. There's liberation in that awareness. The following morning brings news that Logan has reached out to the Portland Chronicle regarding our family dispute. The reporter, more astute than Logan had expected, inquires why they were absent from my wedding. The article that follows depicts a narrative Logan never intended, highlighting parents who missed crucial life events but suddenly show up when money is involved. My mother's rant on social media surprisingly generates a surge of support for me. Old classmates, business contacts, and even distant relatives send messages of encouragement. A cousin I haven't seen in ages writes, "We always wondered why they never celebrated your achievements." Richard's attempts to contact my investors falter as they refuse to discuss personal matters. Meanwhile, the community bands together for the Scholarship Foundation, with applications flooding in months ahead of the official launch. The Portland Business Journal requests an interview about the foundation, and I consent. We'll firmly outline the focus on the scholarship's mission and influence, steering clear of family issues. The reporter, Delia Warren, meets me at the foundation's interim office. "This is an impressive initiative," she remarks, examining the prospectus. $16 million is a significant seed funding. What drove such generosity? I choose my words with care. I had a teacher who recognized my potential when others overlooked it. Miss Rivera transformed my life just by noticing me. I aspire to create similar chances for young women who might be ignored. You've accomplished quite a lot, Delia remarked. The acquisition of Crescent Motion was among last year's most significant tech headlines. Are your parents proud? The question lingers in the air. I could easily sidestep it and steer the conversation elsewhere, but instead, I look her directly in the eyes. My achievements came without any familial support. They were absent at my wedding, my graduation, and when I sold my business. Delia's writing momentarily halts. This adds intriguing context to the foundation's mission. Later that week, the article is published with the title, "Self-Made Success Fosters Support Legacy." The stark contrast between my generosity and my family's sense of entitlement becomes a part of the public conversation. When news about Logan's house foreclosure surfaces days later, the community quickly pieces everything together without me having to say a word. Ethan steps up the security measures around our home, while my business team manages communications, handling inquiries, and emphasizing foundation priorities. Naomi Blake, my initial investor and mentor, issues a supportive statement about my dedication to empowering others instead of fostering dependence. My college friends rally around me, filling our calendars with gatherings that distract from familial issues. Patricia grounds me during our weekly sessions. This community becomes an intentionally chosen family, full of support. 2 weeks post-confrontation, I received the Business Leadership Award from the Women in Media Alliance. As I stand at the podium, gazing out at faces genuinely celebrating my achievements, I realize things have really shifted. My parents' retirement plans are now indefinitely put on hold. Hannah's standing in her coveted country club circles has diminished sharply due to their financial downfall. Logan's twins are set to transition to public school next semester. Meanwhile, the foundation is flourishing, generating positive attention that radiates beyond Portland. This narrative resonates, not from a desire for revenge, but because I chose to channel my suffering into a meaningful purpose. The Scholarship Committee has shortlisted 3 candidates for the inaugural award. Janine tells me, laying the portfolios on my desk, they would appreciate your insight by Friday. I open the first dossier and start assessing the work of a talented young woman whose potential was recognized by a teacher when no one else saw it. The cycle comes full circle, healing through proactive choices instead of dwelling on the past. Family is defined by actions, not mere claims. For the first time, I feel truly acknowledged. In the following weeks, I delete the fourth voicemail from Aunt Meredith without hearing past her appeal that everyone misses you, Caroline. The Thanksgiving invitation sits in my inbox with the title, Family Needs to Be Together, clearly an attempt at emotional manipulation. My phone buzzes with a text from my cousin Drew. I don't get this divide between you and Uncle Richard. Can't you just talk it out? Of course he doesn't understand. He wasn't there at my empty wedding and didn't witness 2 decades of feeling invisible. A letter from Mom arrived yesterday, her elegant handwriting unmistakable. We always believed in you, she wrote, as if trying to rewrite our shared history. The envelope sits half-burned in my fireplace, its edges curling and charred like the deceit it holds. Dad called my office directly last week, stating, "We need to clear the air," with no recognition of their past actions in his tone. Following my assistant's strict orders, he was told I was permanently unavailable. The breaking point comes when Logan sends the twins to my office with handmade cards that say, "We miss Aunt Caroline," written in a childish script I know isn't truly theirs. The manipulation is so blatant it churns my stomach. They're pulling every emotional trick they can. Ethan notices this evening as he examines the cards on our kitchen counter. They're desperate, he observes. I sift through the week's collection of attempts, but no actual apologies have been offered. Soon after, the family lawyer calls with a professionally neutral tone. There are ethical responsibilities to consider, Caroline. Family ties come with certain obligations. The message is unmistakable. I'm cast as the villain in their narrative, the cold-hearted daughter who has abandoned her struggling family. Pastor Wilson from the church I stopped attending years ago leaves a voicemail, saying, "Your parents are quite concerned. Maybe we could meet to talk about reconciliation?" 2 childhood friends, whom I haven't spoken to in over a decade, suddenly reach out. "Your parents seem so heartbroken," says one. "The holidays are for forgiveness," suggests the other. When Logan's wife, Hannah, emails photos of the twins in their Halloween costumes, claiming the kids ask about me all the time, I nearly fling my phone across the room. They're framing this entire situation as though it's my fault, I expressed to my therapist during our weekly session. Forgiveness, duty, and my inability to take the high road, what does that make you feel? She gazes consistently into my eyes. I confess it makes me furious. Yet, there's also a sense of validation. They wouldn't resist this intensely if they weren't terrified of losing power. The foundation selection meeting presents a surprising hurdle. The committee suggests a scholarship for Maya Harrison, a 17-year-old filmmaker whose application video demonstrates incredible skill and a painful echo of my own experiences. She mirrors my younger self. I mentioned to Ethan that night, quiet, determined, and frequently unnoticed. Watching her interview video again, I see in Maya's eyes the same fatigue as in my wedding pictures. She expresses how filmmaking has allowed her to find her voice when her family couldn't listen. What if I am mistaken in severing ties completely? The thought escapes before I can halt it. Ethan joins me on the couch. What prompted this? If I'm encouraging these girls to discover their strength, does my retreat from my family set a poor example? Is establishing boundaries synonymous with running away? I ponder. No, setting boundaries doesn't equal abandonment. What advice would you share with Maya if her family treated her like yours treated you? The response comes smoothly. I'd tell her she is worthy of being seen by others who recognize her value. As Thanksgiving approaches, I host dinner at our place. The dining table stretches to fit everyone. Ethan sits beside me, with Naomi across from us, and my business team scattered in between. Maya sits at the far end, her scholarship certificate elegantly framed on the sideboard behind her. Our home radiates warmth that was absent in my parents' house. Flickering candles and silver holders cast a glow, laughter dances across the ceiling. In this space, no one needs to earn their place to be acknowledged. I lift my glass to those who perceive us for who we truly are. The toast resonates around the table. My phone is switched off, notifications silenced. The meal unfolds with perfect harmony, conversations flowing freely without the judgmental atmosphere I was raised in. As dessert is served, I reveal the Foundation's new mentorship program. I'll actively engage with each recipient, I explain. We're forging meaningful connections. Maya's eyes widen in surprise. You'll be mentoring us personally? Every step of the way, I assure her with a smile. This foundation transcends monetary support. It's about crafting something significant together. Naomi nods with approval. You've established systems that stand strong against interference. I reassure her that the Foundation's independence is legally secured. Its success will be assessed by its impact, not the applause it garners. Later, while we clear the plates, Ethan turns on the local news. As expected, a feature about the Foundation cleverly airs, coinciding with my family's usual dinner time. On screen, I exude confidence I've rightfully earned. We create family through our actions, not out of obligation. The segment shifts to financial insight, contrasting the Foundation's transparent governance with instances of poor management, subtly mentioning Logan's professional failures. Maya is glued to the screen. They're actually comparing your brother's company to the Foundation? The truth is undeniable. I stack dessert plates with steady hands. The community has recognized what my family refused to acknowledge. The next morning, my parents want to meet at a downtown coffee shop. Arriving in the Porsche, the car that suddenly captured their interest after years of estrangement, I notice Dad looks older than I remembered, defeat evident in the contours around his mouth. We should have been present, he admits, his gaze fixed on his untouched coffee. At the wedding? I prompt, aware that his words reach beyond just that. All those years, his voice breaks. Mom's eyes glisten with tears. How can we remedy this? The question lingers in the air. 3 months ago, I would have jumped at this opportunity for any acknowledgement. Now, I feel a serene clarity within me. Some things are beyond repair, I state. They can only be accepted. Mom flinches. I'm not shutting the door forever, I clarify. However, I need accountability, not convenience. I'll think about limited communication once you both start therapy. That's unnecessary, Dad interjects, the familiar dismissive tone creeping in. That's a non-negotiable point. I sip my tea, warmth spreading through my chest like an assurance. They exchange glances, sharing an unspoken understanding, the kind of people who never anticipated consequences for their choices. Logan's financial downfall has stripped their delusions of superiority. My success now exists outside their influence. The Foundation thrives independent of their validation. When they walk away, no agreements are reached, no compromises made. I watch them approach their sedan, a practical choice now, the luxury cars long vanished. I drive off without a glance back, with freedom filling every beat of my heart instead of obligation. The foundation waits. Maya's project needs reviewing. My chosen family is eagerly anticipating dinner. For the very first time, I'm advancing towards something rather than retreating from someone. And that truly changes everything. As I stand in the bright studio of the Crescent Foundation, I observe Maya tweaking her camera settings. Sunlight streams through the tall windows, creating shimmering golden patterns on the sleek hardwood floor. It's been a whole year since I last saw my family. How do you feel about this angle? Mia inquires, her eyes sparkling with the same creative passion that Miss Rivera once recognized in me. Try shifting it slightly to the left. Notice how the light dances across the subject? I speak with the assurance of a mentor, no longer the anxious daughter craving validation. Behind Maya, walls adorned with photographs reveal the projects of our scholarship recipients, narratives they would have struggled to share without the foundation's backing. Each image symbolizes a voice that could have been muted, much like my own voice was almost stifled. This office has replaced the childhood bedroom that housed my dreams of being acknowledged. Every detail, from the comfortable chair to the proudly displayed awards on floating shelves, was chosen with intent. Nothing is inherited. There are no remnants of obligation or guilt. I've completed the final cut of my documentary, Maya announces, standing tall. Would you watch it with me? We head to the editing bay, where her project unfolds on the high-definition monitor. This documentary explores 3 generations of resilient women in a rural Oregon family, capturing their trials and triumphs beautifully through Maya's lens. As I watch her skillful work, an overwhelming pride fills me, unlike anything I've felt previously. This moment isn't about my journey, it's about her creation, and what she will continue to produce. As the credits roll, Maya gazes at me, tears glistening in her eyes. You are the reason I believe I can achieve this, she confides, enveloping me in an unplanned hug. I recall Miss Rivera and how she saw potential in me when my own parents were indifferent, how her encouragement carried me through years of familial neglect. Now, the cycle shifts, not marked by abandonment, but by authentic support. A few days later, I find myself at the Portland Arts Center podium, receiving a Community Leadership Award. The audience erupts in applause. A wave of appreciative faces looks towards me, free of pity. Ethan beams with uncontained pride in the front row. There are no vacant seats to haunt me tonight, no ghostly family members I wish were present. Every individual in this room truly sees me, unmasked and genuine. Thank you, I begin confidently. This path commenced in obscurity and evolved into significance. For far too long, my self-worth was tied to the validation from those who chose to overlook me. I pause, allowing my eyes to scan the audience. Now, my worth is defined by what we create together. The standing ovation envelopes me like a rejuvenating wave. My therapist calls this post-traumatic growth, an odd sense of tranquility that has emerged after realizing that not all wounds completely mend. I keep firm boundaries with my extended family. Now, holiday gatherings celebrate my chosen family, occasions filled with authentic joy rather than apprehension. Ethan and I have built our own traditions together. Just last month, Naomi's retirement party at the foundation brought together the supportive networks that uplifted me when my biological family fell short. My recent initiative, the Emergency Fund for Students Facing Financial Hardship, aims to ensure that potential isn't suffocated by circumstances. I now comprehend what these young women desperately need because I lived without it, unwavering faith in their capabilities. Driving home through Portland in my Porsche, I pass by the coffee shop where I once edited videos on a borrowed laptop. Through the window, I spot my parents strolling on the sidewalk. Our eyes connect momentarily. I don't pull over. There's no anguish in this encounter, only a peaceful recognition. They revealed to me what love isn't, while Ethan and my work have shown me what it truly is. Tomorrow, Maya will be setting up for her new project, and I'll be right there, camera ready, eager to share the techniques I've perfected through years of making my presence known. Family isn't defined by who raises you, it's determined by those who lift you up.